Good morning, everyone. Let's begin with your doubts. So, if you have any doubts, please post it on the chat box. Let's solve your doubts first, and then we go to the last part of this accounting standard. Okay, I have one doubt which says, please repeat the concept of change from cost model to revaluation model. Okay, so Sprua, I will be revising the entire standard in a while. So that time this doubt of yours will be solved. The concept of change from cost model to revaluation model. Okay, quickly, any more doubts? Otherwise, I'll go to the last part, finish that off, revise the entire standard, and then we look at the institute study material. If you have any doubts, kindly look at it, post it over here so that I can explain to you. Okay, I guess there are no doubts. So let's quickly revise this. Let's quickly repeat and understand this part. Okay. We did the last part, that was change from revaluation to cost model. How will we do that? And after that, we came to, after that, now we come to the change in depreciation method. Now, this is slightly different from what we have studied till now. So please, let's understand this carefully first, and then I'll give you an example. It says change in depreciation method. Now, of what we have studied till now, change in depreciation method is always an accounting policy of what we have studied till now. But now, as per the Ind AS, change in depreciation method is not an accounting policy. It is a change in accounting estimate. Right? So now you'll have to remember for AS-10 that such change in method of depreciation will be considered as a change in accounting policy. Sorry, accounting estimate, not policy, accounting estimate. See what they've given. Method of depreciation should be reviewed at least once in a year, and such change will be treated as, underline, change in accounting estimate. So now AS-10 tells you to treat it as a change in accounting estimate. So change in method of depreciation is nothing but a change in accounting estimate. Right, let's proceed. Cessation of depreciation. Underline the word cessation. Can someone tell me on the chat box what is the meaning of the word cessation? What is the meaning of the word cessation? Stop, of course. Yes, to stop. So cessation means to stop. When will you stop providing depreciation? Okay, let's understand this. When will you stop providing depreciation? Depreciation should not be provided if, very important, please underline, residual value is equal to or exceeds. Residual value is equal to or exceeds the carrying amount. Now let's understand that. Residual value equals to or exceeds the carrying amount. Let's take, for example, the carrying amount is 100. Your residual value is also equal to 100. And your useful life is 5 years. Can someone calculate the depreciation for me? Can someone please calculate the depreciation for me? What will be your depreciation in this case? Of course, it will be 0. Why? Because residual value minus the, carrying amount minus the residual value is nil. So that's your first point. See, that is what they've explained. You will stop providing depreciation when the residual value is equal to or exceeds the carrying amount. So in this case, residual value is equal to 100, which is exactly equal to the carrying amount. So you will have no depreciation in this case. Come to the next one. What if the carrying amount is 100 and residual value is 110? Now tell me, will you have depreciation? Will you have depreciation in this case? Of course, you will not have depreciation because the value becomes negative and you cannot have negative depreciation, right? So this is a simple point they are trying to explain over here. Depreciation will not be provided if residual value is equal to or it exceeds the carrying amount. Depreciation of an asset will cease at earlier of date when the asset is retired from active use and held for disposal, or the date when it is derecognized. Underline the word derecognized. Derecognized means written off. So the date when the asset is written off or the date when it is retired from active use. Earlier of the two is the date from which you will stop providing depreciation. Right? It's a very simple point. Are you getting it? Okay, let's quickly revise the 2 points that we have done. Change in depreciation method. AS-10 revised, which means the Ind AS now tells you that method of depreciation, whenever you change, will be a change in accounting estimate and will not be a change in accounting policy. You will stop providing depreciation when residual value is equal to or it exceeds the carrying amount. Depreciation, you will stop providing depreciation when either the asset is retired from active use and held for disposal, or when the asset is written off, whichever is earlier of the two. Right? I hope it is absolutely clear till here. Okay, let's proceed to the next one, which is scope of accounting standard 10. AS-10 is applicable to property, plant and equipment. We've already seen that. However, this standard is not applicable to biological assets relating to agricultural activities. However, this standard is applicable to bearer plants. So underline the first sentence, biological assets related to agricultural activities. You have a different accounting standard which takes care of agriculture, because one accounting standard takes care of agricultural activities. AS-10 will really not interfere in that case. Second, it says this standard is applicable to bearer plant. So we'll see a little bit later what is the meaning of the word bearer plant. But what you have to remember is that accounting standard 10 is not applicable to agricultural activities but is applicable to bearer plant. Come to the next one. It is not applicable to wasting assets. So mines, quarries, etc. are covered by some other accounting standard. AS-10 is not applicable. Last point. Produce of bearer plants is not covered by AS-10. That also I will take a little bit later when we understand the meaning of bearer plant. Okay, quickly. AS-10 is applicable to PP. It is not applicable to two things, wasting assets and biological assets relating to agricultural activities. However, it is applicable to bearer plants and not the produce of bearer plants. Right, come to the next one, key points. If any PPE is used to develop and maintain the above mentioned assets, AS-10 will be applicable. We saw that in a question yesterday. एक असेट को बनाने के लिए दूसरा असेट अगर हम यूज करते हैं तो दूसरे असेट का डेप्रिसिएशन इस असेट में एप्लीकेबल होगा. Investment property should be accounted for using the cost model. So investment property will always go with the cost model. They will not have the revaluation model. Okay, let's understand the meaning of bearer plant. It says a bearer plant means a living plant. Underline the word living plant. Bearer plant क्या होता है? Living plant होता है. Right? A plant that can grow, a plant that can die is known as a living plant. A bearer plant means a living plant. Okay, which is used in production or supply of agricultural produce. So this is used for production or supply of agricultural produce. So say for example, I have an apple tree. So is an apple tree used in production or supply of agricultural produce? Yes, apple is say for example an agricultural produce. Is the plant producing apple for you? Yes, then it is a bearer plant. Second, it is expected to bear the produce for more than one period. Now understand this. Every agricultural crop is seasonal. So one period is equal to one season. your produce should be for more than one season. Only then it will be called as a bearer plant or a living plant. So it is expected to bear produce for more than 1 year, and it has very remote likelihood, means very less chances that it will be sold as an agricultural produce. So we will not sell it as an agricultural produce, we will only sell the produce, that is the apples. We will never sell the apple tree. So all you have to remember is a bearer plant means a one that can bear produce for more than one period. It can produce, and you will always sell the produce but not the bearer plant. Right? This is the meaning of living plant. Now let's quickly go to the two previous points that we have done. Now you may be a bit confused because this is technical. Just allow me to complete. I will again revise everything. That time you will understand completely everything. Look at this point. It says AS-10 is applicable to bearer plants. Of course, we have understood what is a bearer plant. It is a living plant which can produce, can bear the produce for more than 1 year, and you will never sell the plant. Next point. Produce of the bearer plants is not covered by AS-10. Now, if you technically understand, the plant, the tree is your asset, and the apple that grows on it is your inventory. So produce of bearer plants means whatever fruits or vegetables it will bear on it will be covered by inventory and not by accounting standard 10. Right? It's a very simple point. Okay, now let me quickly revise whatever we did today. Let's understand that carefully, and then I go to the next part. So please be careful. Now that you have understood everything, let's again revise the entire concept so that you are thoroughly clear with it. Okay, first, change in depreciation method. Method of depreciation will be reviewed at least once in a year, and if there is any change in method of depreciation, you will treat it as an accounting estimate. Cessation of depreciation, your depreciation will stop once the residual value is equal to or exceeds the carrying amount. We saw a practical example pertaining to that. After that, we saw that depreciation will stop at earlier of date when the asset is retired from active use and held for disposal, or when it is written off from the books. Accounting standard 10 is applicable to property, plant and equipment. However, this standard does not apply to biological assets pertaining to agricultural activities. It does not apply to wasting assets. It applies to bearer plants but does not apply to produce of bearer plants. Now the question is, what is a bearer plant? A bearer plant means a living plant that can do three things. It can bear produce for more than one period. It has the capacity of producing, and you will never sell the plant. You will only sell the produce. Investment property is always accounted for using the cost model. तो investment property को तो कभी भी revaluation model हम use नहीं करेंगे. And if there is one asset which is used to develop any other asset, then that asset's depreciation will be calculated as a part of your depreciation, or as a part of your cost of the property, plant and equipment. Are you clear with this? Quickly, everyone on the chat box, are you clear with this? Yes or no? Quickly, everyone on the chat box, are you clear with this? Are you all clear with this? Yes or no? Quickly, everyone on the chat box, are you clear with this? Akshay, Aman, Anjali, Aksa, Bhavin, Dipesh, Dhairya, Dhara, Digesh, Harshit, Harshita, Het, Ishika, Ishita, Kajal, Khushi, Manav, Nidhi, Nikita, Pawan, Raj, Rizwan, Rohan, Shifa, Simran, Om, Spruha, Shrushti, Tulsi, and Yash. Are you all absolutely clear with whatever we have done? Okay, if you're clear, let me quickly take all the doubts that I have. There was one doubt which says please explain change from revaluation to cost model. We'll do that when we revise. I've already said that. There was one doubt which was if in true or false they ask whether change in method of depreciation is change in accounting policy, what should we write? Now Raj, they will always mention to you that as per which accounting standard they have asked you this question. If they ask you this question as per AS-10, the answer is false. If they ask you as per disclosure of accounting policies, the answer is true. Right? I hope Raj that solves your doubt. Then I have one more example which says one more question which says please give example of biological assets for agriculture. Okay, so Ishita, the example for biological assets for agriculture can be cow, bull, sheep, goat. So these are all biological assets that can be used for agricultural purposes. Right? I hope Ishita that solves your doubt and also explains to you the meaning of biological assets. Okay, I hope Ishita that solves your doubt. Okay, perfect. I have one more doubt which says please repeat the investment part again. Okay, so the investment part says Ishika that investment property you will calculate as per accounting standard 13. But whenever you look for revaluation, AS-13 refers to AS-10 and AS-10 will always use the cost model. So investment property will always be recorded using the cost model. Are you getting it? So I hope Ishika and Spruha that solves your doubt. Of course, investments will be treated always as per AS-13. But AS-13 always uses the cost model because AS-10 tells it to use the cost model. Right? I hope Spruha and Ishika that solves your doubt. Okay, perfect. So I think we are done with this. Everyone is clear with this. So let's now proceed, and this brings you to the end of accounting standard 10. Now what is left in accounting standard is disclosure requirements. So we will have a look at the disclosure requirements once we finish off solving all the questions. So let's quickly come to your study material. So everyone please come to your study material of the institute. Come to your study material of the institute, page 3.59. Come to the study material of the institute, page 3.59. Okay, I hope you all are with me on page number 3.59. Let's quickly have a look at all the questions that you have in the institute study material. Let's understand that carefully, and then we quickly revise the entire accounting standard, and then we are done with this accounting standard. Okay, you have accounting standard 10. All these concepts we have already covered. What is the definition of a property, plant and equipment? Everything we have covered. This standard is applicable to what and not applicable to what. All these points have been covered. What is the definition of a property, plant and equipment? We've studied that. Tangible items held for production of goods, supply of services, rental to others, and admin purposes, expected to be used for more than 12 months. All these points are already covered. Biological assets, I've already explained that to you. Livestock, so I gave you the example of sheep, goat. These are all livestock, agricultural livestock. Then we have also understood the meaning of bearer plants. What is a bearer plant, what is not a bearer plant? Recognition criteria, when will you recognize a property, plant and equipment in the books? When it is probable that future economic benefits flow to the enterprise and cost can be measured reliably. All these have been done. Let's quickly come to illustration number 1. Okay, tell me, have we done illustration 1? Look at illustration 1 and tell me, have we done this? Entity A is a supermarket, is renovating one of its major stores. Quickly look at that and tell me, have we done this? Yes, we have already covered this. Okay, come to the next one. Subsequent costs already covered. Replacement of PPE, major inspection already done. Okay, come to illustration number 2. Now this is important. Come to illustration number 2. I'll have to explain one small example to you, and these two concepts will be clear. Okay, let's understand that. Say for example, you have an aircraft. An aircraft needs major inspection every 5 years. And say for example, the useful life of the aircraft is 15 years, and the major inspection cost is, say for example, 10 lakhs. Right? Okay, everyone on the chat box, please understand, and if you don't understand, ask me. Major inspection cost कितना है? 10 lakh rupees. यूजफुल लाइफ कितनी है? 15 years है. अब मेजर इंस्पेक्शन कॉस्ट मान लीजिए इट फुलफिल्स द डेफिनेशन ऑफ अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड 10 प्रॉपर्टी प्लांट एंड इक्विपमेंट. टेल मी क्विकली ऑन द चैट बॉक्स, विल यू कैपिटलाइज, yes or no? Tell me quickly on the chat box, will you capitalize this? Yes, of course you will capitalize. Now if you remember, we follow the component approach. Because we follow the component approach, this 10 lakh rupees that you will capitalize will not be amortized over 15 years. It will be amortized over 5 years. It will be amortized over 5 years. ये जो एयरक्राफ्ट का है, हर 5 साल में हमें एक बार मेजर इंस्पेक्शन करवाना है, तो मेजर इंस्पेक्शन करवाया, 10 लाख रुपए पे किए, कॉस्ट में ऐड कर दिया क्योंकि AS-10 की डेफिनेशन वो सेटिस्फाई करता है. अब जैसे ही वो AS-10 की डेफिनेशन सेटिस्फाई करता है, मैंने उसको PPE में ऐड कर दिया. पर क्योंकि मैं कंपोनेंट अप्रोच यूज कर रहा हूँ, जैसे कल हमने डिवाइड किया, देखो ये वाला पार्ट, लैंड, रूफ, लिफ्ट, फिक्सचर्स, बिल्डिंग, वैसे मैं यहाँ पे मेजर इंस्पेक्शन लास्ट एक और पार्ट ऐड कर दूंगा. मेजर इंस्पेक्शन का 10 lakhs विल गो ओवर 5 years, नॉट 15 years. द क्वेश्चन इज, जब हम एक एक साल आगे बढ़ते जाएंगे तो पिछले वाला मेजर इंस्पेक्शन क्या होगा? डी रिकॉग्नाइज, मींस विल बी डेबिटेड टू द प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट. मतलब 5 साल का 10 lakhs है, 4 साल का 8 lakhs, 3 साल का 6 लाख, 4 लाख का 4 साल का 2 लाख, और लास्ट 1 year का 2 lakhs. आफ्टर दैट अगेन इट विल बी मेजर इंस्पेक्शन, द प्रीवियस वन विल बी रिटर्न ऑफ कंप्लीट. Are you understanding? This is known as the component approach. Now we have already studied this. Component approach में क्या होगा? लैंड, रूफ, लिफ्ट, बिल्डिंग, फिक्सचर्स सब आ गया, और एक और कंपोनेंट ऐड होगा, मेजर इंस्पेक्शन, इफ इट satisfies the definition of accounting standard 10. So we will have that, and then that will be amortized over 5 years and not 15 years, and every time it will be derecognized to the profit and loss account. Right, see, that is exactly what they have asked. Look at this question. What happens if the cost of previous part or inspection was not identified in the transaction in which the item was acquired or constructed? Derecognition of carrying amount occurs regardless of whether cost of the previous part was identified in the transaction in which the item was acquired or constructed. मतलब आप कुछ भी एक्स्ट्रा बात नहीं सोचोगे, हर बार प्रीवियस इंस्पेक्शन जो है या मेजर इंस्पेक्शन आपको डी रिकॉग्नाइज करते रहना है। अब आप बोलोगे हमने जो डी रिकॉग्नाइज किया, जो असेट की वैल्यू बढ़ी वो शायद हमने इंक्लूड नहीं किया है, वट एवर द केस में बी, if major inspection is part of PPE, it has to be derecognized every time. Just remember that one important concept. Because the problem is the institute has not explained major inspection in detail, but has asked a question of major inspection in detail. So that is why I am giving you only one statement to understand. And that statement is derecognition will happen regardless of everything, of major inspection. Similarly, come to question number 3. What will be your answer in the above question if it is not practical for an enterprise to determine the carrying amount of the replaced part or inspection? In that case, it may use the cost of replacement. So we will use the cost of replacement or the estimated cost of similar future inspection as an indication of what the cost of replaced part or existing inspection component was when the item was acquired or constructed. तो हम लोग एक notional value ले लेंगे कि future में similar inspection कितने का पड़ता, या what would be the replacement cost in that case. Right, in all cases you have to remember derecognition will happen of every part that we are having. Are you understanding? You will have derecognition in that case. Are you understanding what I'm trying to say? Yes or no, quickly on the chat box. Are you clear with this? You have to derecognize major inspection. Right, remember that carefully. Are you all clear with this? Quickly on the chat box. Are you all clear with this? Yes or no? अक्षय, अमन, अंजलि, अक्सा, भाविन, दीपेश, धैर्य, धारा, दिगेश, हर्षित, are you absolutely clear with this? Okay, I'll repeat this for you. Please understand once again. Let's take this example that I have made. Please understand, you will get this point. हमारे पास एक एयरक्राफ्ट है जिसको हर 5 साल में हम एक बार मेजर इंस्पेक्शन करवाते हैं। मेजर इंस्पेक्शन का कॉस्ट कितना है? 10 लाख रुपए। So 10 lakh rupees is the cost of major inspection. Now this 10 lakhs will be capitalized to the cost of PP, and because it is capitalized, you will also have to depreciate. Now how will you depreciate? 10 lakhs will go on 5 years because we follow the component approach. So 10 lakhs will go to 5 years. So every year, how much will be written off to the profit and loss account? 2 lakh rupees. First thing, quickly everyone on the chat box. especially those who had doubts. So Raj, Shifa, then Dhara, Pushti, Ishita, Akshay, Shifa. Are you clear with this much part that every year 2 lakhs will go to the PNL and we follow the component approach? Everyone whose name I mentioned, are you clear with this? Okay, perfect. If you're clear with this, let's go to the next part. Let's go to the next part. The question says, what happens if the cost of previous inspection was not identified in a transaction in which the item was acquired or constructed? Interesting point. बहुत simple question पूछा है. उन्होंने ऐसा कहा कि आपका एयरक्राफ्ट 1 करोड़ रुपए का है. ध्यान देना, आपका एयरक्राफ्ट 1 करोड़ का है. This was the value at which we acquired. Okay, now I acquire the aircraft today. My question to everyone is, will I start inspection from day one or will I do it at the end of the 5th year? Quickly on the chat box. Will I do it on day one? Will I do major inspection on day one? अभी तो aircraft नया है. Do you need it at the end of day one? No. Okay, everyone is right. You will have it at the end of the 5th year. Now my next question to you is, if you will have it at the end of the 5th year, when will you add major inspection to the cost of PP? At the end of 5th year or right now in the 1st year? When will you add major inspection? At the end or at the beginning? You will have it at the end of the 5th year. Okay, everyone is again correct. Now please understand. मैं आपसे ये क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा हूँ कि जब हमने असेट अक्वायर किया था तब मेजर इंस्पेक्शन ऐड नहीं किया था. फिर से बता रहा हूँ, जब हमने अक्वायर किया था तब मेजर इंस्पेक्शन ऐड नहीं किया था. अब जब मेजर इंस्पेक्शन ऐड हो गया है, क्या मुझे उसे डी रिकॉग्नाइज करना चाहिए बेस्ड ऑन 5 years? yes or no? I did not do it at the time of beginning. Should I do it now? Yes, you will do it irrespective of everything because derecognition needs to take place. That is your second question. I'm again reading it for you. Please pay attention. What happens if the previous part or inspection was not identified in the transaction when the item was acquired or constructed? So what? Derecognition of carrying amount will occur regardless of whether the cost of previous part or inspection was identified in the transaction in which the item was acquired or constructed. Are you clear with question number 2? Yes or no? Let's go stepwise. Are you now clear with this? Quickly, everyone on the chat box. Okay, now if this is clear, let's go stepwise. Now let's go to question number 3. Question number 3 says, what will be your answer in the above question if it is not practicable for an enterprise to determine the carrying amount of replaced part or inspection? मान लो कोई ऐसा बोलता है कि मेजर इंस्पेक्शन करना पड़ेगा, इस पार्ट को रिप्लेस करने का मुझे लगता है ये कॉस्ट आएगा. नाउ प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड वन थिंग. One person is coming to your organization and giving you advice on is inspecting everything for you and then giving you advice. ध्यान देना प्लीज. एक आदमी आपके पास आ रहा है और बोल रहा है मैं आपका मेजर इंस्पेक्शन करूंगा. अगर वो मेजर इंस्पेक्शन करेगा तो वो आपको एडवाइस देगा कि ये पार्ट को रिप्लेस करो, ये पार्ट को रिप्लेस मत करो, ये पार्ट को चलने दो, वो सारी एडवाइस आपको देगा. मान लो जो मेजर इंस्पेक्शन करने आ रहा है वो ऐसा बोल रहा है कि ये जो एक्स पार्ट है आपके एयरक्राफ्ट का वो चेंज करना पड़ेगा, पर चेंज करके जो नया पार्ट लगाएंगे उसका क्या कॉस्ट होगा ये मुझे कोई आइडिया नहीं. आर यू गेटिंग इट? इन दैट केस व्हाट विल यू डू? So the answer is, it may use the cost of replacement or any estimated cost of future similar inspection as an indication of what cost of replaced part or existing inspection component was when the item was acquired or constructed. तो आप एक नोशनल अमाउंट ले लोगे कि चलो मैंने इंस्पेक्शन किया, ये पार्ट रिप्लेस करना है, इसका फ्यूचर कॉस्ट कितना है मुझे पता नहीं है, लेकिन फ्यूचर कॉस्ट की जगह पे मैं क्या ले लूंगा, एस्टिमेटेड कॉस्ट ऑफ रिप्लेसमेंट और फ्यूचर सिमिलर इंस्पेक्शन. तो मैं एक नोशनल कॉस्ट लेके आई विल एड इट टू द कॉस्ट ऑफ पीपी. Now are you all clear with question number 3 as well? Now question number 3 is a little bit vague, so that is why they have given you this kind of a question. However, you just understand the concept and remember one thing, that if you cannot take the carrying amount of the replaced part, you will then take the cost of replacement or the cost of future similar inspection. Right, so those who had doubt in question number 3, quickly on the chat box, are you now getting it? Are you clear with this? Yes or no? Okay, perfect. If you all are clear with this, let's go ahead to question number 4. Okay, question number 4. Entity A has an existing freehold property which it intends to knock down and redevelop. During the redeveloping period, the company will move its production facility to another site temporarily. मतलब एक फैक्ट्री से हम दूसरी तरफ शिफ्ट होने वाले हैं. The following incremental cost will be incurred. मतलब जब हम एक प्रीमाइसिस से दूसरी प्रीमाइसिस पे शिफ्ट होने वाले हैं तब हमको 3 टाइप के खर्चे होने वाले हैं. सबसे पहला क्या है, सेटअप कॉस्ट ऑफ ₹5 lakhs टू इंस्टॉल द न्यू मशीनरी टू द न्यू लोकेशन, rent of 15 lakhs and removal cost of 3 lakhs to transport the machine from its old location to the temporary location. Can the above cost be capitalized? Now quickly all ask yourself a question. Is all this is shifting from one facility to the other facility increasing my productivity? Yes or no? Is shifting from one facility, increase one production facility to the other, increasing my productivity, yes or no? Everyone quickly on the chat box, let's not waste time. Of course not. Can this be capitalized, yes or no? Can this be capitalized, yes or no? Of course it cannot be capitalized. See what they've given. It says constructing or acquiring a new asset may result in incremental cost that would be avoided if the asset has not been constructed or acquired. These costs will not be included in the cost of the asset if they are not directly attributable to bringing the asset to its location and condition necessary for it to be capable of operating in a manner intended by the management. The costs to be incurred by the company are in the nature of cost of relocation and reorganizing operations, and they do not meet the requirements of AS-10, and therefore they cannot be capitalized. So these costs can never be capitalized. Are you getting it? These costs cannot be capitalized. Right, come to the next one. 5. Question 5. Entity A, which operates a major chain of supermarkets, has acquired a new store location. The new location requires significant renovation. Management expects that the renovation will last for 3 months, and during that period, the supermarket will be closed. Management has prepared the budget for this period, including expenditure related to construction or remodeling, salaries of staff who will be preparing the store before its opening, and related utility cost. What will be the treatment of such expenditure? Now, if you understand, this question is similar to the previous question, but it has two aspects. One, it says cost and remodeling. So if cost and remodeling increases the efficiency, you will definitely capitalize. But salary to staff is always a revenue expenditure. Now, because salary to staff is always a revenue expenditure, you will not capitalize, you will treat it to the profit and loss account. Right, okay. See what they've given. Management should capitalize the cost of construction and remodeling the supermarket because they are necessary to bring the store to the condition necessary for it to be capable for operating in the manner intended by the management. The supermarket cannot be opened without incurring the remodeling expenditure, and thus the expenditure should be considered part of the asset. However, if the cost of salaries, utilities, and storage of goods are in the nature of operating expenditure that would be incurred if the supermarket was open, then these costs are not necessary to bring the store to the condition necessary for it to be capable of operating in the manner intended by the management and should be expensed off. So salaries and all these things are not adding value, are not increasing the efficiency, and because it is not increasing the efficiency, you will not treat it as a capitalized cost, you will charge it to the profit and loss account. Right, I hope you all are clear with this as well. Illustration number 6. An amusement park has a soft opening to the public to trial run its attractions. Now understand, it is offering public for trial run, right? It is not actually doing a trial run. There is a difference. Now I'll give you a simple example. Suppose you make a movie. After making the movie, you yourself watch it to check whether there are any mistakes or not. That is trial run. When you host a premiere and call all the celebrities to watch the movie, that is not a trial run. You are doing a premiere show to give some kind of marketing to it. So that is not a trial run, remember that. An amusement park has a soft opening to the public, to trial run its attractions. Tickets are sold at 50% discount during this period and the operating capacity is 80%. The official opening day is 3 months later. Management claims that the soft opening is a trial run necessary for the amusement park to be in a condition capable of operating in the intended manner. Absolutely incorrect. करना क्या है? Accordingly, the net operating cost should be capitalized. अब ध्यान देना. I have a question for you. Suppose if you all have an amusement park, ध्यान देना. Suppose if you all have an amusement park which has lot of rides. Will you trial run those rides with general public, or will you trial run with dummy structures so that if there is accident, everyone is safe? So tell me, dummy structures or actual public? With whom will you do the trial run? आप लोग किसके साथ ट्रायल रन करोगे, डमी स्ट्रक्चर्स के साथ या पब्लिक के ऊपर एक्सपेरिमेंट करोगे कि हमारा राइट ठीक से चल रहा है? ऑफ कोर्स यू विल डू इट विद द डमी स्ट्रक्चर. So when they are doing it with actual public, how can it be a trial run? It is not a trial run, it's a promotional expense. So that is why this cannot be considered as a trial run expense to be capitalized. This will go to the profit and loss account. Right, have a look at that. The net operating cost should not be capitalized but should be recognized in the statement of P&L. Even though it is running at less than full operating capacity, there is sufficient evidence that the amusement park is capable of operating in a manner intended by the management. इसीलिए तो public के ऊपर वो लोग chance ले रहे हैं. If they were not capable of it operating smoothly, they would have never called general public for this for these trial runs. Therefore, these costs are specific to the startup and therefore they should be expensed as incurred. Right? They will always be expensed as and when incurred. Right? Okay. Simple question tha. Let's now go to the next one. You have question number 7. Question number 7. Now there is a mistake in question number 7. So ignore the solution. Let us solve it on our own. It says entity A exchanges surplus land with a book value of 10 lakhs for cash rupees 20 lakhs. The plant and machinery is valued at 25 lakhs. What will be the measurement cost of the asset received if the transaction has commercial substance? Now the question is silent, but the solution says transaction has commercial substance. Tell me on the chat box, if the transaction has commercial substance, what will you take? If the transaction has commercial substance, what will you value? You will take the fair market value of the asset given up. Now they have not given fair market value of the asset given up. That is their mistake in the question. So you may write over there, the fair market value of the asset given up is 25 lakhs. Tell me, if the fair market value of the asset given up is 25 lakhs, how will you record it? If the fair market value of the asset given up is 25 lakhs, how will you record this asset in the books? What value will you record this asset in the books? Of course, you will record it at 25 lakhs, right? But you can cancel this question because this is a wrong question. So please cancel this question. There is mistake. One, they have not told you whether it has commercial substance or not. And this 45 lakhs value also from where they have derived is really not understandable. So exclude this question. Come to question number 8. Come to question number 8. Now question number 8, that now this kind of a question that we have done and this institute's question is different, so treat them different and let's understand this question. Dhyan dena. Entity A exchanges car X with a book value of 13 lakhs and fair value of 13 lakh 25,000 for cash 15,000, and car Y has a fair value of 13 lakh 10,000. The transaction lacks commercial substance. Chalo, quickly on the chat box. If the transaction lacks commercial substance, how will you value this asset? How will you value this asset? Book value of the asset given up. Okay, excellent. Book, everyone is correct. Book value of the asset given up. Will you adjust for the cash received or cash paid? Yes or no? Will you adjust for the cash received or cash paid? Yes or no? Okay, of course it will adjust the cash received or cash paid. Okay, now tell me, which car are you giving and which car are you taking? Which car are you giving? That is important to understand. Which car are you giving? Everyone on the chat box, which car are you giving? I have one answer which says car X is given up. Car X is given, car Y is taken. Of course, absolutely correct. Raj, car Y, X is given, not Y. Please read the question carefully. I am exchanging car X and getting car Y. Yes, everyone is correct. Raj, just check on the question once again. Car X is given and Y is taken. Okay. What is the book value of the asset that you are giving up? What is the book value of the asset given up? 13 lakhs. So I am taking over here 13 lakhs. क्या 13 lakhs की asset देने के बाद और Y car लेने के बाद आपको कुछ पैसे मिले? Did you receive some cash? Yes or no? Did you receive some cash? Yes or no? Yes. How much? How much did you receive? 15,000. So your final answer will be 13 lakhs की कार दी, सामने 15,000 वापस मिल गए, तो हमारा नेट कॉस्ट कितना आया? 12,85,000. Are you getting it? Your value will be 12,85,000. See, that is exactly they have given. The entity recognizes the asset received at a book value. No, Spruva, you're reading the question wrong. When you gave it, it says the car has a book value of this much, and for cash 15,000 means you received 15,000. अगर यही चीज Y के साथ दी होती, then we would have taken your point. So Spruva, what you're saying is incorrect. That is not the way it is interpreted. Right? I hope that solves your doubt. The entity recognizes the asset received at the book value of car X. Therefore, it recognizes cash of 15,000 and car Y as PPE with carrying amount of 12,85,000. So you will record it at 12,85,000. Okay, so if the question says that entity A exchanges car X with a book value of 13 lakhs and fair value of 13,25,000 and car Y having a fair value of 13,10,000 for cash of rupees 15,000. So after this 13,10,000, if they use the word for cash 15,000, then it is assumed that it is associated with Y, and you have given. That time you will have 13 lakh plus 15,000, 13 lakh 15,000. Okay, I hope Spruva that solves your doubt. Perfect, chalo. Let's proceed to question number 9. Okay, quickly look at this question and tell me, have we done this question? Entity A is a large manufacturing group. It owns a number of industrial buildings and factories. The industrial buildings are located at the industrial zone, whereas the office buildings is at the central zone. It wants to apply revaluation model and cost model. किया है ऐसा question हमने? Yes, of course, we have done this kind of a question. Chalo, great. Come to question number 10 after this. This example also we have done, if you remember, of revaluation. Increase in revaluation is 900. This question also we have done. Come to question number 10. Come to question number 10. एकदम simple common sense का question पूछा है, आप लोग मुझे आंसर बताओगे. Question number 10. इसलिए ध्यान देना. It says entity A has a policy of not providing depreciation on PPE capitalized in every year. वो depreciation नहीं provide करते, until the following year, but provides full year's depreciation at the year of disposal of the asset. Is it acceptable? मतलब हम लोग जो भी डेप्रिसिएशन है, ध्यान देना, जो भी डेप्रिसिएशन है वो हर साल प्रोवाइड नहीं करेंगे. ध्यान देना, हम लोग डेप्रिसिएशन हर साल प्रोवाइड नहीं करेंगे. जब असेट डिस्पोज करेंगे तब पूरी लाइफ का डेप्रिसिएशन प्रोवाइड करेंगे. इज दैट अलाउड, yes or no? Quickly on the chat box. Is that allowed, yes or no? Tell me, is it allowed? Of course it is not allowed. You have to provide depreciation every year. It does not, it does not mean accumulated depreciation. It means, will you provide depreciation every year or once at the end? So the answer is depreciation should be provided every year. Right, see what they've given. The depreciation amount, depreciable amount of a tangible fixed asset should be allocated on systematic basis over its useful life. The depreciation method should reflect the pattern in which the asset's future economic benefits are expected to be consumed by the entity. Useful life means the period over which the asset is expected to be available for use by the entity. Depreciation should commence as soon as the asset is acquired and available for use. Thus, the policy of the entity is not acceptable. You have to provide depreciation on regular basis every year. You cannot just provide once at the end of the useful life of the asset. Right? Simple question it is. Right? I hope you all are clear with this. Okay, let's go to the next question. Question 11. Let's go to question 11. Now this question you will calculate for me. बहुत simple question है. Entity A has purchased an asset for rupees 1 lakh and the asset has an estimated useful life of 10 years and a residual value is nil. Chalo, let's put this. Cost of the asset is 1 lakh. Useful life 10 years. Residual value nil. Okay. Can you tell me what is the depreciation per annum? Quickly on the chat box. Can you tell me what is the depreciation per annum? Okay. On 1st January 2017, the directors reviewed the estimated life and decided that the asset will probably be useful for a further of 4 years only. Okay. Before I go to this, 1/1/2013 and the review was done on 1/1/2017. कितने साल बीत गए between 1/1/2013 and 1/1/2017? How many years have gone by? 4. So what is the total depreciation that you guys have provided? 40,000. And what's your carrying amount of the asset on 1/1/2017? 60,000. Okay, perfect. Everyone is correct. 60,000. What is the remaining useful life of the PPE? 6 years. पर 6 की जगह अब कितने साल तक असेट चलेगा? 6 की जगह पे कितने साल तक असेट चलेगा? Only 4 years. So you will have 60,000 divided by 4. Your per annum depreciation will now be 15,000. Right, see what they've given. The entity has charged depreciation using straight line method, that is 10,000 per annum. On 1st January, the net book value is 60,000. The remaining useful life is 4 years. The company should amend the annual provision for depreciation to charge the unamortized cost over the remaining life of 4 years. Consequently, it should charge depreciation for the next 4 years at 15,000 per annum. Right, absolutely simple question they had asked. Come to question 12. Entity B constructs a machine for its own use. Construction is completed on 1st November, but the company does not begin using the machine till 1st March. Tell me, when should capitalization stop? 1st November or 1st March? Everyone on the chat box, when should this stop? 1st November or 1st March? Okay, of course, 1st November. Any expense between 1st November and 1st March will go to the profit and loss account. Easy question. This also we have done. The entity should begin charging depreciation from the date when the asset is ready for use. 1st November. The fact that the machine was not used for the period after which it was ready for use is not relevant in considering when to begin charging depreciation. So depreciation will begin from the date when the asset is ready for use. Okay, come to question number 13. Come to question number 13. ये तो हमने आज ही concept पढ़ा है. Question number 13. Property costing 10 lakhs is bought in 2016. It is estimated that the total physical life is 50 years. However, the company considers that it will sell the property after 20 years. The estimated residual value after 20 years is 10 lakhs and 9 lakhs. Calculate amount of depreciation. Chalo, you will calculate the amount of depreciation for me if the residual value is 10 lakhs. Tell me, what will be your depreciation? What will be your depreciation? Excellent, everyone is correct. Of course, it will be 0. What if your depreciation is 9 lakhs? What if your depreciation is 9 lakhs? Sorry, what if your residual value is 9 lakhs? What if your residual value is 9 lakhs? So 10 lakhs is the cost minus 9 lakhs is the residual value. So you have how much? 1 lakh? You have 1 lakh divided by 20. 5,000 will be your depreciation. The company considers that residual value based on prices prevailing at the balance sheet date is equal to the cost. There is therefore no depreciable amount and the depreciation is correctly 0. The company considers that the residual value is based on the prevailing prices of 9 lakhs, so depreciation will amount to 5,000 rupees. Okay, I think that was very easy. Come to the next one. That was question number 13. Let's go to question number 14. Okay. NTTB manufactures industrial chemicals and uses blending machine in the production process. The output of the blending machine is consistent from year to year and they can be used for different products. चलो quickly on the chat box. जब कोई मशीन का आउटपुट कंसिस्टेंट है मतलब सेम है ईयर बाय ईयर, यू अग्री विथ मी डेप्रिसिएशन भी सेम होना चाहिए ईयर बाय ईयर, यस और नो? You agree with me? When the output is consistent, depreciation should also be consistent. अब आप बताइए कौन सी मेथड में डेप्रिसिएशन कंसिस्टेंट रहता है, एसएलएम या डब्ल्यूडीवी? SLM. So what is the method of depreciation that we should use over here, SLM or WDV? Of course, we will be using the straight line method. Okay. Next point, next question देखते हैं. However, maintenance cost increases from year to year, and the new generation of machines with significant improvements over the existing machine is available every 5 years. Suggest the depreciation method to the management. तो depreciation method तो आपने suggest कर दिया. Next question बहुत interesting है, वो समझते हैं. वो क्या बोल रहे हैं? हर साल मेंटेनेंस कॉस्ट बढ़ रहा है या चेंज होता है, और नई टाइप की टेक्नोलॉजी वाली मशीन हर 5 साल में आती है. अब आप मुझे एक बात बताओ, जब नए टाइप की मशीन हर 5 साल में आती है, will you think about replacing the old machine with the new machine, yes or no? When there is new technology, will you think of replacement, yes or no? So these components which tell you the maintenance cost, which tell you new generation, will affect your useful life of the asset, will not affect the depreciation in terms of method, will affect depreciation in terms of the useful life of the asset. So that is what it explains. Dekho, the straight line method of depreciation should be adopted because the production output is consistent from year to year. Factors such as maintenance cost or technical obsolescence should be considered in determining the blending machine's useful life. So we will consider the useful life using this method. Okay. Come to question number 15. Come to question number 15. Entity A carried its plant and machinery in the books at 2 lakhs. They were destroyed by fire. The assets were insured, new for old, and were replaced by the insurance company with the new machines at a cost of 20 lakhs. The new machines were acquired by the insurance company and the company did not receive any cash compensation. How should the entity account for it? देखो क्या हुआ, हमारे पास machines थी, insured थी, and there was loss by fire. सारी machine हमारी destroy होगी. इंश्योरेंस कंपनी ने कहा हम आपको कैश नहीं देंगे, हम आपको नई मशीन खरीद के देंगे. हमने बोला कोई बात नहीं, आप नई मशीन हमको खरीद के दो. तो उन्होंने हमको जो नई मशीन खरीद के दी उसका रिकॉर्डिंग कैसे करना है बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स. So entity A should account for the loss in the statement of P&L on derecognition of the carrying amount in accordance with AS-10. जो asset हमारी destroy हो गई, जो भी asset हमारी destroy हो गई, that will be treated into the profit and loss account. जो नई asset आने वाली है, entity A should separately recognize a receivable and a gain in the income statement resulting from the insurance proceeds under AS-29 once it is virtually certain that you will receive it. The receivable should be measured at the fair value of the asset which will be provided by the insurer. So we will provide this at the fair value. Right, so we will record it as a receivable. Okay, I think we are done with all the questions. So all the questions are done. I have one doubt which says, since the maintenance cost is increasing, then in order to maintain a balance between depreciation and maintenance cost, WDV method is more appropriate. Raj, that is not correct. You cannot decide the method based on this. You will decide the method based on its output, based on the consumption that you have. You cannot have the maintenance cost deciding the method of depreciation. It will always be deciding the useful life of the asset. Okay, let's quickly have a look at the disclosure requirements, which are on page number 3.92. Okay, let's come to the disclosure requirements. They are on page number 3.89. So please make a change over here. It is not 3.92, it is page number 3.89. Please make a change over here. It is 3.89. 3.89. Right, so now two things are left. Come to page number 3.89. Now what we are left out is, one is disclosure requirements and the other is a quick revision of the entire accounting standard. So what I recommend is take a 5 minutes break. Right now it is 9:25. I'll see you back sharp at 9:30, and then we quickly look at the disclosure requirements. They're absolutely simple, and then we once quickly revise the entire accounting standard 10, and then we are done with accounting standard 10. Right, so just quickly take a 5 minutes break, and I'll see you at 9:30. Thank you. Okay, let's continue with the last part, that is disclosure requirements of accounting standard 10. You have three kinds of disclosures: general, additional, and disclosures relating to revalued assets. Let's quickly have a look at them. They're absolutely simple. क्या क्या हमें disclose करना है AS-10 के related. The financial statement should disclose for each class of PPE measurement basis, मतलब आपने cost model use किया, revaluation model, the depreciation method that you use, SLM or WDV, the useful life or the depreciation rate that you have used. In case of useful life or depreciation rate used are different from those specified in the statute, then it should mention the fact, the gross carrying amount and the accumulated depreciation, and at the beginning and at the end, तो ओपनिंग बैलेंस कितना था, ड्यूरिंग द ईयर कितना आपने डेप्रिशिएट किया है, एडिशन किया, और क्लोजिंग बैलेंस कितना था, ये पूरा आपको डिटेल देना है. रिकंसिलिएशन ऑफ द कैरिंग अमाउंट एट द बिगिनिंग एंड एट द एंड शोइंग एडिशंस, असेट्स रिटायर्ड. तो मान लीजिए स्टार्टिंग में 10,000 है, एंडिंग में 20 हो गया, तो वो 10 का गैप का क्या हुआ, कितनी असेट ऐड हुई, कितनी असेट डिडक्ट हुई, कितने आपने अक्वायर किए एज अ पार्ट ऑफ अमालगमेशन, कितना आपने असेट रिटायर्ड फ्रॉम एक्टिव यूज किया, all those things, depreciation that you charged and other changes, all these items needs to be taken care of. So whatever is the difference between the opening and the closing, uska pura reconciliation aapko provide karna. Additional disclosures: the financial statement should also disclose the existence and amount of restrictions on any title. ये भी हम ऑलरेडी डिस्कस कर चुके हैं पहले कि मान लीजिए आपके पास कोई एसेट है और आप और कोई और जॉइंट ओनर हो, उसकी साइन के बगैर आप बेच नहीं सकते, मींस देयर इज रिस्ट्रिक्शन ऑन द टाइटल. Right, amount of expenditure recognized in the carrying amount as an item of property, plant and equipment during the course of its construction, the amount of contractual commitments for the acquisition of property, plant and equipment. If it is not disclosed separately on the face of P&L, the amount of compensation from third parties for items of PP which were impairment, lost or given up, that is included in the statement of P&L. तो कोई asset आपने write off किया, कोई आपको loss हुआ due to fire, all those things will be included. The amount of assets retired from active use and held for disposal, that also you will have to disclose. Disclosures relating to revalued assets. So if the item of PP are stated at the revalued amounts, the following needs to be disclosed: the effective date of revaluation, whether an independent revaluer was involved, the methods and amount and significant assumptions that were applied, the extent to which the fair value is determined directly with reference to the observable prices, that is, how do you determine the fair value to the revaluation, and the revaluation surplus, indicating the change as a period of any restrictions on the distribution of the balance to shareholders. Right, so these are simply your additional points pertaining to your disclosure requirements. Right, that brings you to the end of the entire accounting standard 10. Every question of the study material we have seen at least 10 to 12 practice questions. Everything we have covered in detail. Let's now do the last thing, that is completely revise the entire accounting standard. So let's quickly go on from page number 1. I will revise each and every point. I think a couple of students had a query regarding changing from cost model to revaluation model and revaluation model to cost model. That doubt also I will be solving right now. So in the next 5 or 10 minutes, let's all just concentrate as to how this entire accounting standard is. Let's quickly revise the entire accounting standard, and then I think we are done for today. We will then begin with accounting standard 22 in the next week, and then for students who missed AS9, we will do AS9, and then your entire accounting standard syllabus is over. Right, okay. Let's look at AS-10 quickly. What is the meaning of PP? It means tangible items which are held for use in production of goods, supply of services, rental to others, and administrative purposes. And it is expected to be used for more than 12 months. Recognition criteria of PP: it should be recognized only if it is probable that there shall be future economic benefits to the enterprise and cost can be measured reliably. Initially, every property, plant and equipment will be recognized at cost. How do you calculate cost? Sorry. For direct purchases, you will take purchase price plus registration or stamp duty cost plus transportation cost. Add to that non-refundable taxes and duties, testing expenses, initial estimate of dismantling or removing cost, restoring the site location, any other expense to bring the PPE to its present location and condition. From that, we will deduct the sale proceeds of product manufactured during testing. What you will get is the cost of PP. Any expense that is incurred after the asset is ready for use, though not put to use, cannot be capitalized. It will go to the profit and loss account. After looking at a couple of questions, we then went to the second part, which is acquired on lease. Now, since AS-19 covers everything pertaining to leases, AS-10 will not be applicable. Then we went to asset acquired by government grant. AS-10 is not applicable. We will follow accounting standard 12. Asset is acquired on deferred payment basis. Difference between the total payment and the cash payment, cash price cannot be capitalized. It should be charged as an expense to the profit and loss account. It can be capitalized only if the asset is a qualifying asset, right? So this also we have seen that difference between the two cannot be capitalized. Only the cost of the asset will be capitalized. The other portion, which is the interest element, will go to the profit and loss account. In exchange of another asset, if the transaction has commercial substance, we will take the fair value of the asset given up, no adjustment required. If the transaction lacks commercial substance, we will take the book value of the asset given up and we will adjust for the cash paid and cash received. After that, we understood spare parts, standby equipments and servicing equipments. It is same as what we studied in AS2. If it fulfills the definition criteria of AS10, you recognize it as PP. If not, you will follow accounting standard 2. Any additional expenditure will, if it increases the future economic benefits, it will be capitalized. If not, it will be charged to the profit and loss account. When a major inspection is performed, if it fulfills the definition criteria, you will add to the cost of PP. If not, it will be capitalized to the profit and loss account. The depreciation portion will happen component wise. That is also something that we saw. Measurement after recognition of PP, you will either use the cost model or the revaluation model. Each model will be used for the entire class of PP. So one class of PP, one model. Different classes of PP, you can use different models. In the cost model, you will always have cost minus accumulated depreciation minus impairment loss. For revaluation model, you will first revalue your asset, get its fair value, and then you will provide the depreciation. Right after that, we went to how will you do the revaluation. If the revaluation happens for the first time, then you credit to revaluation surplus account. If it is upward revaluation, if it is downward revaluation, you debit the profit and loss account. Subsequent revaluation, you will always look at the earlier revaluation. If earlier revaluation was upward, now also if earlier revaluation was upward, now also it is upward, you will credit to revaluation surplus account. If earlier revaluation was downward, now also it is downward, you will debit to the profit and loss account. If earlier revaluation was upward and now the revaluation is downward, first you will adjust against the revaluation surplus and balance will be debited to the profit and loss account. If earlier revaluation was downward and now it is upward, first we'll credit the P&L to the extent of earlier debit and the balance will go to revaluation surplus account. Okay, how will you use revaluation surplus account? You will use it if there is any upward revaluation in the past and now when you sell or de-recognize at loss, you can use the revaluation surplus. We saw a question for that as well. After that, we saw when the asset is revalued upwards and sold and still there is balance, we will close and transfer to the general reserve account. If a property, plant and equipment is retired from active use and is no longer in use, you will report at lower of carrying amount or NRV. Any write down will go to the profit and loss account. After that, we saw the depreciation requirements of AS-10, where we understood that method of depreciation can be any. It can be SLM, WDV. AS-10 never tells you about it. However, you will have to follow the component approach. So a PP will be divided into various components and then based on that, you will calculate the useful life. Whenever there is any change in useful life or salvage value, it will be treated as a change in accounting estimate. Any change from cost model to revaluation model, this was a doubt, so I'm repeating it for you, please pay attention. If an item is subsequently revalued while earlier cost model was used, matlab purana model cost model, naya model revaluation model, property, plant and equipment will be depreciated using the balance depreciable amount less its salvage value. मतलब आप अब जो depreciable amount उसका बचता है उस पे आप अब revaluation करोगे. If you want to change from old model of revaluation to the new model of cost model, balance will be adjusted against the carrying amount. Now please understand this example. 90 rupees है आपका carrying amount और 20 आपका revaluation surplus है. तो आपने ये 20 जब रीवैल्यू किया तो कॉस्ट में ऐड किया था, कॉस्ट से आप माइनस कर लोगे तो अब आपका नया वैल्यू कितना होगा 70 रुपीज. However, you will have to ensure that carrying amount does not go below the residual value. So let's take this example. 20 rupees carrying amount है, revaluation surplus 30 है. माइनस करेंगे तो माइनस 20 माइनस 30 करेंगे तो माइनस 10 आएगा, वो कर नहीं सकते. मिनिमम 5 रुपए तो रहना चाहिए. So 20 minus 5, 15 is what we will adjust, and 15 we will transfer to the general reserve account. So we will have to keep at least 5 rupees as the carrying amount. Then we saw change in depreciation method. It will also be treated as a change in accounting estimate. We will stop providing depreciation when the asset is retired from active use and it is held for disposal, or when it is de-recognized, whichever is earlier. AS-10 is applicable to PPE, not applicable to biological assets relating to agricultural activities, not applicable to wasting assets, not applicable to produce of bearer plants, but definitely applicable to bearer plants, that is living plants. So any asset that is used to develop and maintain the other asset, AS-10 will be applicable. Investment property as per AS-13 will always be valued using the cost model, and a living plant is used in production or supply of agricultural produce. It is expected to bear produce for more than one period, and it has a remote likelihood that it will be sold as an agricultural produce. And then we saw the disclosure requirements. Right, that completely brings you to the end of Accounting Standard 10. We have discussed everything in detail, including all the institute questions. So quickly, everyone on the chat box, are you clear with the entire Accounting Standard 10? Akshay, Aman, Anjali, Bhavin, Dipesh, Dhairya, Digesh, Harshit, Harshita, Het, Ishika, Ishita, are you all clear with this? काजल, खुशी, मानव, निधि, निकिता, पवन, पुष्टि, राज, रोहन, शिफा, सिमरन, स्पृहा, सृष्टि, तुलसी, यश. Are you all absolutely clear with this? Okay, perfect. If you all are absolutely clear with this, I think we are done with this accounting standard, and I think this much is sufficient for today. Please do revise the entire accounting standard when you go back today. If you have any doubts, please come back to me. In the next lecture, I will be doing a very important accounting standard 22. It is a very technical accounting standard and a very important accounting standard. So please ensure you are present during that lecture. I will discuss everything in detail. We are left with two accounting standards, AS-22 and AS-9. AS-9 is only for those who have missed it. AS-22, of course, is for everyone. So first we'll do AS-22, and then we go to AS-9 for those who missed it. Right? Please do go back today and revise whatever we have done. Thank you so much for attending. And now I'll see you next week whenever my lecture is with Accounting Standard 22. Perfect. Thank you so much for attending, and I'll now see you next week with AS-22. Thank you.